Pregnancy yoga is an opportunity to connect, both with our baby, but also with our own intuition. Your intuition as a mother is so important as you head towards the challenge of birth, but also in motherhood. There have been countless times in motherhood where trusting my own intuition has been invaluable. This pregnancy yoga class is suitable for all trimesters. Make sure you remember to rest when you need and modify any poses that don't feel great in your body. We'll use lots of yoga props today. If you don't have these specific yoga props, you can substitute with cushions off your bed, books instead of blocks, and a scarf instead of a yoga strap. I hope you enjoy today's practice. Let's start our practice today in child's pose using a bolster. So the reason I use a bolster is so that I can rest my chest fully and really soften into this pose, but that there's lots of space for my belly to hang comfortably. So get yourself comfortable. Sometimes we don't like to rest the boobs on the bolster, so just make sure you're feeling really comfortable here. You might like to rest the head in the hands or rest the face. Take a full deep breath into the low belly. Feel the belly expanding and softening on the exhale. See if you can tune into the rhythm of your own breath. And as you let your belly hang, breathe into that space as if the breath were gently rocking your baby side to side, side to side. You're breathing, softening through the shoulders and the face. And giving yourself a moment to connect in with how special this time is. This time in your life, which while you're in it feels like it goes forever, but once it's done feels like it was just simply a moment in time, a blink of an eye and it's gone. Just let yourself be here in this moment with all that it brings, all the aches and pains, all the discomfort, but also all the joy and excitement. Let yourself be here and now in this moment. When you're ready, let it come up. Take your time coming up, really being present and aware of the body today. Take a few shoulder rolls. Maybe a gentle seated cat-cow here, opening through the heart. And then exhaling as you curl in, just really feeling into that spine, perhaps waking it up this morning. I don't know about you, but my back always needs a little bit of opening through the morning. So we're going to come into our puppy pose, again using the bolster as a prop. So it's up to you how deep you come into this pose. If your hips are directly over your knees, there's going to be more opening through the back and the chest. If you sit back towards the heels, there's going to be a little bit less. So find what works for you. Soften the head down. Just breathing here. So if you want a little bit more, you can bring those hips even further forward. And then gently rock it back. Let's take a big breath in here. And then exhale through heart. Good. And again, inhale. Feel like you're gathering up some energy and drawing it into your body. Probably needed. I always felt exhausted during pregnancy, which is not surprising, given that all your energy is going towards growing a baby. Good, coming back, hands to heart. So we're going to use the bolster again, this time to come into our malasana or our half malasana, depending on what you prefer to practice today. So our malasana is our low squat. So sitting up on the bolster or a cushion or a block or a little stool, something like that. Bring the feet in, so you can practice full malasana with the feet on, or you can tuck one in if it's a little bit too much opening through those hips today. I'm going to practice full malasana. I'll give you a cue for when you need to change over if you're in the halfway version. Bring the elbows inside the knees and find some length through that spine. And just breathing here. I'm always humbled by my yoga practice in that it doesn't have to be impressive. We don't have to do complicated poses. Just the simple act of moving our body and finding our breath always brings me this sense of peace. And so I hope that you can find that as well today. Just being here and present with your baby. Maybe you want to bring the hands to the low belly, really connect in here. Continuing to imagine your breath gently rocking your baby. Imagine how soothing and safe your baby feels within your belly. If you're in the half malasana, it's time to change to the opposite side. I want you to gently release one hand down to the mats. It's fine if you're in half malasana. And we're just going to open the arm up to one side, getting a little bit of opening through the chest, through the back. Breathing into the stretch that you can feel gently opening here through the chest. Maybe you want to wrap that hand behind you, gently looking over the top shoulder. Good, and then gently release it back. Other side, inhale as you open it up. Feels so nice to get a little bit of twist through the spine. Shifting and moving energy, bringing fresh energy into the body. And breathing here into the belly. And gently release back to center. We're going to come into our Skandasana now, which is our side lunge. So we're going to leave the left foot and move our way to one side of the bolster and then simply stretch the other leg out. So it's up to you whether you want to rock forward, maybe come off the bolster a little bit, increase the stretch here in the leg, or whether you want to stay grounded and supported. You'll get just as much from the practice whether you choose to really heavily support with props. I want to encourage you to really listen to your body and what it needs today. So if it needs a little more, you can gently lean forward. If it's enough, just staying seated here on the bolster, then do that. And again, we're going to open up here. One arm to the sky. And then gently release, other side. Inhale it up. And exhale it down. One more breath here in Skandasana. Inhale, rise the arms tall. And then exhale, hands through heart. Good. Let's shift our way to the opposite side. So again, you might be off the bolster and just doing this through the legs or keeping it nice and gentle today. I remember once upon a time when I was practicing really strong yoga, I would think that this was cheating, that we weren't getting as much from our yoga practice. But now I realize in many ways, using props gives you more from your yoga practice. It allows you to let go more, to relax and soften into the poses, and the effects on our nervous system and our stress levels is so much greater when we really allow ourselves to listen to what our body actually needs. Let's find that breath again. Inhale the arm up, especially during pregnancy when we've got that relaxing in the body, releasing ligaments and tendons. We really want to support with props and keep the practice nice and gentle. Inhale, other side. Exhale, release it down. One more breath here. Inhale, arms tall. And exhale, bring hands through heart. Good. All right, I want you to stay up on the bolster if that feels good. If you'd prefer to come down onto the flat ground, now we're going to do some hamstring stretching. So personally, I prefer to have my bottom flat on the ground, but that's just because my hamstrings are quite flexible. If you know that your hammies are quite tight, you'll probably prefer to be up a little bit just to tilt that pelvis forward slightly. So I'm going to use the strap today, and this just lets me stretch into the legs without feeling like I need to strain my body in any way. If you don't have a yoga strap, you can use a scarf or something like that. And all we're doing is sitting up nice and tall, so feeling those sit bones pressing down into the mat or into the bolster, and then super gently folding forward. So it might be a tiny little, almost imperceptible movement, just gently leaning so that you can feel that stretch. You might like to keep flexing the toes back towards the body, and then just breathing here, letting the belly be nice and soft. Keeping the rhythmic breathing moving in and out through the nose. Good. I want you to gently release the strap now, but keep it handy because we're going to come back to it. Bring the hands behind you, so fingertips pointing towards the toes, and bring one foot in because this is going to be our supporting leg. As you inhale, press into the feet, lift the hips up. If it feels good for you, you can release the head and neck behind you. One more breath here. Slowly release the hips down. Let that knee fall out to the side now. Pick up the strap once more, place it around the ball of the foot, and we move back into the hamstring stretch, but this time on one side. Often when we have one leg instead of two, we notice we can go a little bit deeper, so maybe you lean forward a touch more, but again, remembering not to stretch too far. You've already got that relax and releasing everything in your body. So just gently finding the stretch and then breathing here. Good. Gently release the strap. Sitting up tall once more. We're going to change the leg, so we're coming into that reverse plank, but on the other side, using our leg as support. So fingertips pointing towards the toes, press, lift the hips up. If the head and neck feels good to do so, you can release it behind you. Keep pressing strongly into the feet. And then slowly release the hips down. Good. Let that knee fall out to the side. One more time, find that strap around the ball of the foot, sitting up tall and then gently leaning forwards. Release the strap. You can move it out the way now. You won't need it for the rest of this practice. And then we're going to come down onto the back, come into our bridge pose. So when we're pregnant and moving from sitting to lying, I want you to use your arms to support you to come all the way down so that we're not asking our core muscles to do any work here. So we're going to move into a position for our bridge pose. If this doesn't feel comfortable, which in the later stages of pregnancy it might not, because baby is so big, this position might put too much pressure on the lungs and you might be feeling a little bit short of breath. If this doesn't feel good anymore, you can bring that bolster, place it underneath the upper back, just so that you're brought up that little bit more. You can still come into bridge pose, lifting the hips up whilst being in this position with the bolster. If it feels okay to be flat on the back, and come on down, but make sure you've got your blocks handy because we're going to use them for support underneath the tailbone. So as you inhale, I want you to press into the feet, lift the hips up, and then you're going to bring that bolster in underneath and rest the tailbone down. So finding a really restorative and gentle bridge pose today. I want you to focus on just gently drawing the knees in towards each other, so there's a little bit of activation through the inner thigh, which is great, especially when our pelvis is starting to feel a little bit loose and open. Keep gently drawing the knees in towards each other. Breathing here. On your next breath, gently press into the feet. Move that block out from underneath the tailbone and come on down. So if you're up on the bolster, if the chest is over the bolster, stay there. If you'd like this little bit of head massage before we finish our practice, I invite you to bring that block underneath the head, and what you're going to do is just gently rock the head from side to side. You might even like to put the block on a little bit of an angle so that the corner of the block is gently pressing into that line between where the spine and the skull connects. And you'll know it because it might feel a little bit tender as you gently rock back from side to side. But this little movement can help to release any tension that you're holding there. I know for me it helps release headache pain. Just move nice and slowly and gently. If anything's too tender or too much, just ease off. But if it feels nice to do so, you can gently rock the head back and forth. If you're uncomfortable lying completely on your back, put a cushion or a block under this right side, just to relieve that pressure on that right side vein. Gently rock the head side to side. Good. And then gently release the block. Rolling on one side to come all the way back up as we finish our practice, just in a moment of reverence for ourselves, for the life that we're creating, and for this practice. Bring the hands to heart, bow down the head. Take a deep breath in. Allow yourself a moment to remember the miracle of growing a life within you, even when sometimes it doesn't feel that way, when it feels difficult and challenging. Try not to lose sight of the fact that it is truly a miracle. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. If you enjoyed this class, or if you would like a meditation to finish your practice because there wasn't one included in this class, I'd like to invite you to join my online yoga circle, which is my membership community that has classes for fertility, pregnancy, and for postpartum. I can't wait to see you there. Namaste.